Thank you so much for the opportunity to present this work at NIMS 2021. The work presented here is based on the hybrid augmented saxophone of Gestural Symbioses, with a focus on its evolution over the last 5 years and an emphasis on its functional structure and the repertoire written for it. The invention of musical instruments serves the purpose of increasing the expressive capacities of the human beings, and each instrument is in itself a technological example of its time. For example, the need for greater sound projection and volume arose during the 19th and 20th centuries, resulting in a reconfiguration of instruments. These modifications, however, did not alter the fundamental nature of these acoustic instruments, and the characteristics that define them were largely maintained. The first experiments with recording synthesized sounds carried by Leon Scott, Edison, Helmholtz, and others in the 19th century allowed the realization of works combining acoustic, mechanical, and electronic elements. The emergence of electricity led to the development of revolutionary and influential new devices, such as microphones and loudspeakers devices that created the capacity for amplification, recording, and musical reproduction. More recently, advances in technology have revealed countless ways to augment instruments and to endow instruments in new performative contours. In recent years, the proliferation of new digital instruments has been enormous, together with the recent resurgence of electronic instruments with mixed characteristics. In response, the proliferation of electronic technology associated with new musical and hybrid musical interfaces and instruments, and especially with regard to hybrid instruments, the term extended, augmented, and other prefixes such as hyper, meta, infra, or even mutant were coined to emphasize the different approach chosen to augment these instruments. In the case of the work presented here regarding the hybrid augmented saxophone of Gestural Symbioses, as the nomenclature itself refers, it was decided to keep the term augmented, since the augmentation process itself occurs in a non-intrusive or destructive way in relation to the mechanical material of the acoustic instrument, trying to add characteristics without compromising its organic qualities and maintaining the qualities that define this instrument, both in terms of technical and sonical characteristics. So one of the main questions to think in this work is about when augmenting an instrument, it should be playable in the existent way. Will the augmentation modify traditional techniques? What we will do with more than 20 years over the practice of the acoustic instrument. So the HASGS was initially developed to within a do-it-yourself logic and was largely justified by some of the repertoire that motivated it, including contemporary repertoire for saxophone and electronics.